this guy!
I'm touching myself tonight.
These are the top 25 most badass anti-hero scenes in superhero movies.
How does it feel to have all that evil inside of you?
All their souls. 1,000 souls to burn. Look into my eyes. Feel their pain.
Let's set the opening on fire right away. Yes, we've got Ghost Rider kicking things off with the ultimate sign of fear. Defeating Blackheart may not have been a piece of cake, but when you're dealing with the main villain, you have to struggle a little bit, otherwise the writers won't get their bonus checks. It's such a crazy W from Ghost Rider because Blackheart was out here like, oh yeah, I'm gonna absorb like 1,000 souls to become the most powerful being. And I totally don't care about my opponent's most useful ability, which is to literally burn souls.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Even so, it was an insane display from Johnny Blaze, who rightfully emerged the victor in this tense contest. Honestly, I don't think I can ever associate anyone else with Ghost Rider apart from Nicolas Cage. His maniacal vibe perfectly suits the character, and if he's serving such crazy transformations, then nobody can take his place.
What are you doing?
I'll never forget you. Don't forget me either, Eddie.
No.
Time to go!
Up next is technically a villain, but he's the hero of his own movie, so it's the perfect mix. Venom is the real MVP in the Sony universe, and even though The Last Dance made as much sense as steak in a vegan restaurant, the grand finale had our favourite symbiote executing his most badass move. Those xenophage thingies are a real handful to deal with, but despite their main purpose being to eliminate symbiotes, Venom manages to absorb not one or two, but by my count, 5 freaking xenophages. Yeah, these monsters were eliminating the other symbiotes as if they're on a Gordon Ramsay show, but the one who did the actual cooking was none other than Venom himself. It takes a lot of mental and physical fortitude to pull off what he did, and sheer will to maintain that form while acid is dripping all over your body. If you look at it, this is actually one of the most heroic sacrifices ever, and it comes from Spider-Man's nemesis. This is a totally different universe, so it's all good here.
They're just going to keep coming. We'll never leave this place, friend.
I thought we were gonna be the lethal protector.
We are.
Holy shit! You save the good stuff for special occasions?
Killing mostly.
Maximum effort.
Now we've got some real passion to show you. This is the perfect example of when the hater gets to unleash his hate. Sure, Deadpool also lends a hand here and there, but make no mistake, this was Logan's moment. Just look at how Wolverine goes ham over here. Our guy looked more ferocious than he ever was, and he clearly seemed like he was having fun chopping down all those Deadpool variants. The bus sequence was particularly brutal, and the shot of both of our heroes jumping out victoriously is one that needs to be framed, even though Wade kind of messes up with the landing. Honestly, this scene would have been much higher up if most of the Deadpool corps remained dead, but we all know that regeneration is one of his main abilities, so we had to rely on Peter to eventually save the day.
This Deadpool's with me.
Oh no.
Holy shit. That's Peter!
Non-lethal. You lose. No one likes to show off.
Up next is a rather hilarious display of positive and negative aura. On the one hand, we've got Peacemaker and Bloodsport showing off their exceptional abilities in a flex-off. However, on the other hand, everyone realizes that they've been trying to one-up each other by attacking the wrong squad. I mean, these people are doing laundry and stuff, so they shouldn't have come across as acrimonious, but then again, this is a James Gunn film, so we should always expect some twisted, bizarre reveal that'll make us rethink entire scenes. Not sure if Peacemaker or Bloodsport had any regrets over this though, they clearly looked like they were having a lot of fun out there. Oh, and shout out to King Shark as well for randomly eating that one dude out of the blue.
I'm here to report a terrible crime.
And what terrible crime is that?
This one.
In at number 21 is our Queen of Madness, Margot Robbie. Cops and Harley Quinn are a match made in prison, although that's not exactly in favour of law enforcement. When she's not shocking dudes with her sudden outfit changes in public, Harley prefers to shoot them down with confetti and stuff. This sequence is by far the best moment from Birds of Prey, as it combines grace, visual aesthetics, and smooth choreography with euphemism violence. Yeah, the confetti and decorations are just in her head. I have good reason to believe that this was just a creative way of trying to avoid the gore. Unfortunately for the movie, it didn't do much to sway the public opinion to something positive.
You are my creator.
Now, Charles!
Up next is the greatest X-Men villain to have ever graced the scene. However, since this is a list for anti-heroes, let me just clarify by stating Magneto has been chosen during the stage right before his villain arc, so he technically qualifies, okay?
I'd like you to know that I agree with every word you said. We are the future. Unfortunately, you killed my mother.
But man, it's pretty darn close, isn't it? Because we could actually consider his assassination of Shaw as the trigger for him turning over to the dark side. Magneto needs a huge assist from Charles Xavier to get rid of Shaw, but the poetic justice he carried out was just way too cinematic. Using the same coin that was presented to him when his mother was executed was an insane choice, but it gave so much more weight to the moment, while also making Eric look twice as badass as he already was. Now we have everyone's favourite anti-hero in front of us. Logan may not be the most fluent fighter, but if there's one thing we can be sure of, it's that he just won't go down. You could be the finest samurai in Japan, but when you're standing opposite the Wolverine, skill alone ain't gonna save you. The fight between Logan and Shingen right after the heart parasite sequence was brutally mixed with perseverance. Shingen's technique is sharp and disciplined, and for a while it almost feels like he has the upper hand. The problem is, he's fighting someone who refuses to give in. Every strike and every stab ends up meaning nothing against a man who heals faster than Usain Bolt finishes a race. Even the final hit straight to the heart fails to slow him, and moments later, Shingen's neck meets Wolverine's claws. The shot where Logan pulls the sword from his body is pure cinematic gold, and Hiroyuki Sanada deserves full credit for bringing the depth to his limited role. Honestly, he gave Wolverine a tougher fight than the actual Silver Samurai, so kudos to him.
You tried to kill your daughter. Live with that.
Alright, it's time to go all skulls blazing, because Ghost Rider is back. And this time, he's letting us know that his choice of vehicles isn't just limited to uber cool bikes. I may not have liked the sequel as much as the original, but I do have to hand it to the team for giving us a deadlier looking Ghost Rider, especially during this sequence. I mean, how can I not praise a blazing skeleton madly laughing as he takes a barrage of bullets and eats them up as if he's popping Skittles? And then there's obviously the part where he takes over a freaking crane or excavator, or whatever the heck that thing is supposed to be called. Yeah, Johnny Blaze was definitely in a good mood here, and it shows.
I got this. Go get it.
Up next is Dwayne Johnson experiencing a rare W for Black Adam.
Beat his ass.
Despite all the hype, this movie failed to live up to critical or financial expectations. But hey, ripping your opponent in half is one heck of a way to farm aura. Black Adam did need some help to defeat Sabak, but he makes up for it by giving us a really brutal finisher move. I guess Sabak didn't realize that Dwayne Johnson's contract always stipulates that he can't lose a fight, so he was pretty much cooked right off the bat. But even if we ignore the legal aspects of the film, they really managed to land a nice shot of those blue eyes grabbing our attention right after we see Sabak getting split in two. Thank God his blood was magma, otherwise PG-13 viewers wouldn't have gotten to witness such ferocity.
Tell him the man in black sent you. Where is she? There you are. Death to you, Father. No! Not you, Father. You, Father. Oh, shit!
In at number 16 is when the final boss becomes dinner. Yeah.
He did not taste good.
Venom made light work of Carnage eventually, but the battle is the main sequence. The opening of this battle cracked me up, especially when Venom backed off after realizing he's up against a red one.
This is much worse than I thought. That is a red one. Wow! Annie will get over it. We never liked her anyway, so...
But once the fight begins, it turns into another showcase of sharp CGI and well-planned stunt work. Much like his clash with Riot, Venom gives it everything he's got, using sonic interference once again to turn the tide in his favor. The constant switching between Eddie and Venom feels surprisingly natural here, flowing smoothly with the rhythm of the fight instead of breaking it. The tension and conflict between Cletus and Carnage also adds a nice touch. It might not line up perfectly with the comics, but it fits the tone and shows just how unstable Carnage really is. In the end, Venom literally gets saved by the bell and finishes things in the most outrageous way possible by devouring Carnage and biting off Cassidy's head. That final F-bomb before the kill was a pretty savage way to seal the deal, wouldn't you agree?
This guy.
I just love a big strong man who's not afraid to show it with someone half his size. Be gentle, it's my first time.
Up next is a foxy little cat. Catwoman sure made an impact during her first rescue act, although she could have perhaps been a bit gentler on the victim. It's not like she wanted to get harassed by that dude as an excuse to meet Batman, but hey, at least Selena Kyle saved her, right? She gave us some witty lines and savage slashes, but most importantly, she told all of us that there was a new vigilante roaming the streets now. And those random backflips may have been a bit extra, but I sure as heck ain't complaining.
You make it so easy, don't you? Always waiting for some bad man to save you. I am Catwoman.
We all know Blade's got some epic lines. He still manages to amaze us during his first final boss fight. Frost was one heck of an opponent, especially with that regeneration cheat skill, but even that wasn't enough to get past the finish line against Blade. There's some slick choreography, savage lines, and badass attacks, all of which combine to give us this gem of a sequence. Yeah, the CGI is probably not as appealing in the modern era, but it's still pretty good as per the 90s standards. Side note, the way Blade finishes off Frost by triggering that gross transformation was kind of similar to how Tetsuo transformed towards the end of 1988's Akira.
Well, look at that. I guess you did need my help after all. Wait a minute. I thought there was supposed to be 3.
Fighting giants may be scary, but size doesn't matter to Hellboy. David Harbour may have thought this was his path towards stepping out of the Stranger Things shadow, but unfortunately for him, this scene was as badass as he got. I think Hellboy takes down 3 giants here, which is a lot more than just impressive. He obviously has a size disadvantage, but that doesn't stop him from flexing his strength and battle experience. This scene was a great way to show us what Hellboy is truly capable of, but in all honesty, I believe he's a character who can only work as a TV show. Sentry may not be your typical hero-villain combo, but he's overpowered as heck, so he always comes across as a badass. He's not the Void at this moment, so he's not a full villain and can qualify as an anti-hero, although he's totally humiliating the team this movie's named after. If there was a number that's less than 0, I would have allotted it to the amount of effort he gave to put in to defeat these dollar store Avengers. It did feel as if he was consciously trying not to end them, which alone would have been enough to land him as high as number 12 on today's video.
Don't shoot! Michael!
Hold on to your horses, because it's Jared Leto time. Yeah, the Morbin jokes are getting old, so I figured we should apply Leto's name more often, considering he always dominates the memes whenever any movie of his releases. Despite all the jokes and the failures of Morbius, I can't deny the fact that this first transformation scene was pretty badass. The way he goes after those dudes at the ship was horrifying and thrilling to watch at the same time. Honestly, I'd say the only thing I didn't like about this assault was that it gave me hope for the rest of the film.
You picked the wrong house, Bob.
Kicking off my top 10 is a very familiar face. Yep, the Wolverine may have already shown his face in this video, but to get to this stage, you need to have a very valid crash out, which he totally does. This was the first real moment where we finally saw Wolverine unleashed, showing us just how dangerous he can be. One of the main complaints about the original film was that Logan's power never really lived up to the attitude he carried. Thankfully, this time the writers fixed that, giving him the level of strength and ferocity that the comics always promised. The attack on the X-Mansion is a goated moment for that very reason. Watching Wolverine tear through those soldiers without a hint of hesitation was exactly what fans had been waiting for, and the reaction in theaters made that clear. It was brutal, fast, and pure Wolverine at his best. His furious roars added that extra layer of intensity that made the scene unforgettable. Either way, it's hard to imagine a worse plan than storming a mansion full of unstable mutant teenagers.
Keep going.
I'm driving.
Maybe next time.
It's the Cyclops' car.
Oh, yeah?
Take off your mask.
No.
Give it up for my man V here, because he's the GOAT. Nobody expected this movie to do as well as it did, and Hugo Weaving's spectacular performance as the titular V is the main reason for its success. When it comes to badassery, he never falls short.
The only thing that you and I have in common, Mr. Creedy, is we're both about to die.
How do you imagine that's gonna happen?
My hands around your neck.
As can be seen here, when Mr. Creedy gets a taste of verbal and physical excellence. If you're trying to take someone's life and they say you're both gonna die, well, that should be a sign for you to get the heck out of there as soon as possible. However, if Mr. Creedy had done that, then we wouldn't have gone to witness absolute cinema during an era before Martin Scorsese became an internet meme.
Die! I want to die!
Up next is Blade defeating the final boss of Baldi's. Yeah, I know I shouldn't be mean to dudes with no hair, but I think I'm allowed to make an exception when they look as scary as Nomak. Blade did have to struggle a bit before he got round to flexing, but the fight was well worth it. I chose this over the battle with Frost simply because of how deadly Nomak looks as a final boss. Our man does win the battle, but I really gotta laud the creators of those shades. Heck, I feel the sword should have been forged from the same material as Blade's sunglasses. At this point, they're more durable than vibranium. Also, let's not forget that at this point in time, Blade was the only IP keeping Marvel alive. Now we've got Harley Quinn showing us why she's the real star of the show. Yeah, Starro was quite the capable opponent, but when you've got Margot Robbie's crazy vibes and a whole army of rats backing her up, it's hard to compete. Sure, she knows how to command a scene, because the moment she became the focus, I'm sure all of us forgot about the other members of the Suicide Squad. Now, Harley's not the one who lands a final blow or whatever, but the depiction of her entering Starro and then the rats following suit was a whole other level of aesthetic brilliance. It's crazy how this scene can be both deeply disturbing and remarkably beautiful at the same time. It's pretty badass if you ask me, so credit must go to the shoot crew and the special effects team for making this such a remarkable moment.
You're pretty famous, right? I'm pretty famous too. That's right. You know, maybe I can give you an autograph, huh?
Up next is the birth of a legend via a viral scene and even more viral line. Some superhero films don't get the recognition they deserve, and Zack Snyder's Watchmen is right at the top of that underrated list. Rorschach stands out as one of the most layered and complex characters ever put on screen, filled with conviction and inner conflict that make him unforgettable. If anyone doubts his presence, they only need to revisit his badass prison scene to see what makes him such a force. He knew what he was doing the whole time, and I really feel bad for that prisoner, even though he was the one with the evil intentions. I guess he had no idea that he was locked in here with Rorschach and not the other way around.
I'm not locked in here with you.
You're locked in here with me.
Maximum effort.
Shot!
I'm looking for Francis.
Have you seen this man?
Look who managed to sneak into my top 5. But hey, almost 10 years since the release of this movie, and they still can't beat the opening we got here. I don't think there could have been a more perfect way to introduce the Deadpool everyone had been waiting for. This scene makes it clear from the start that the movie ain't holding back, and that it's finally giving fans the version of the character that actually feels true to the comics.
Hey! Wait! You may be wondering why the red suit. Well, that's so bad guys can't see me bleed. This guy's got the right idea. He wore the brown pants.
Let's count him down.
The violence, the chaos, and the non-stop wisecracks all come together beautifully. Yeah, I can totally see Wade cracking a joke at that line too. Anyway, Deadpool dishes out pain like it's second nature, cracking jokes while turning his enemies into roadkill, and somehow it works. There's something hilarious about watching him pull off model poses while taking headshots, isn't it? Ryan Reynolds gave us the kind of performance that's so confident and ridiculous that you can't help but enjoy every second of it.
Gotcha.
3, 2, stupid!
Worth it.
I'm touching myself tonight.
Mask! Copy!
All right, have it your own way.
Mask!
Copy.
What the hell is that thing?
Right after Deadpool comes Venom, who does the swatting here despite being up against, yes, you guessed it, a SWAT team. Yeah, this particular battle is absolutely incredible, and I know I've praised the action in this movie a lot, but the SWAT scene stands out as the most impressive sequence across all 3 Venom films. The moment the team corners Eddie and tells him to surrender, you can already sense that things are about to get messy, and sure enough, they do. The sequence is a perfect mix of CGI and practical stunt work, and it's obvious how much effort went into pulling it off. Every shot looks expensive and polished, and you can tell the production team went all in on this one. Watching Venom tear through an elite squad with such brutal precision is both terrifying and thrilling. He even comes close to eating one of the cops before Eddie steps in and tells him not to go that far. Yeah, that dude just got saved from knowing what the donuts feel like when he gobbles them up.
Jump. Pussy.
Like father, like son.
Do it.
Up next is a rather ridiculous achievement. Yeah, if someone told you that a dude was sending the devil to hell, you'd laugh because that's like sending the shark from Jaws back to sea. But when we're dealing with Nicolas Cage, anything is possible. Oh man, you could sense the aura farming from miles away. Mephisto isn't an easy opponent to defeat, but Ghost Rider made it look like it's his regular Monday routine.
You, worst deal I ever made.
Of course, the act of sending the devil back to hell is quite badass in itself, but the way this scene was shot further enhances the experience of viewing it. The fiery effects weren't all that bad either, and then to see Ghost Rider's victory pose was even better, because our man totally deserved the W.
Did we win?
I'm gonna say yes. Hell yes.
In at number 2, but just as good as any other video-topping sequence, comes from our man Wolverine again. It's the most hyped up Berserker scene, and for good reason. 2017's Logan had remained in the shadows for the whole video, but when it finally steps into the ring, it roars. The Berserker Rampage is more than just another power move. It's the raw, unleashed spirit of Wolverine finally tearing through the enemy again. That guttural scream in the theater sent shivers racing down my spine like nothing else. Every soldier who stood in his path knew their story ended the second they heard that roar through the trees. What came next felt less like combat and more like divine fury unleashed. The fact that the serum only fueled him for a short while somehow made it even more awe-inspiring, which is proof that Logan's true power doesn't come from science, but from sheer will. And honestly, I could watch Hugh Jackman bring that energy to the screen forever.
It's the Daywalker.
The topper of today's list is a familiar face. I mean, vampires are all about that nightlife, so it shouldn't be surprising to see Blade in a club. Who are we kidding? This is easily the most iconic moment Wesley Snipes gave us in this franchise, and it's the opening. The whole vibe just clicked here, didn't it? The flashing lights, the gothic visuals, and of course, the main character slicing through vampires as if he's chopping up some pasta. They were all crucial ingredients needed for the making of this historic moment. Of course, it's all Wesley Snipes, but shout out to the director Stephen Norrington as well. He totally understood the assignment when it came to showing us the dark, sensual, and secretive underworld of the Vampire Masquerade Society. Hope you liked the video, please subscribe to the TV region, and here's another video that I know you're going to enjoy.